Cloud is in a constant battle with hope. Aerith, I think, is a really beautiful embodiment of hope. Zack, I think, is a personification of hope. And Sephiroth is the antithesis of hope. So I think just that world element helps you integrate it with a lot of the character work and then sort of realize the full picture of what the message here is. And it's just a beautiful new design that's just fascinating to think about for the world and what it means metaphysically. But also it helps you learn more about these characters and what their role is and theorize.
So video games are different than an anime or a television show, but they both tell stories in different ways. When you talk about hope as a central theme, one of the things that it makes me think of is, and it's not a direct opposite, but despair is another theme that has an interconnected relationship with this idea of hope in this game to me. That it's not necessarily a direct opposite, but it's something that is endured and gets through to get to hope. We have to recognize that there is despair and overcome it to get to hope. And a story that we would watch, like anime, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, one that you've written a lot about, has a lot of themes of kind of institutional despair and what it looks like for characters to band together and have hope. So the party mentality of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in some ways reminds me of what those characters kind of endure together in the rending, the tearing, the going apart, the coming together. But there's a difference when you're playing the character. In Fullmetal Alchemist, for example, we're watching that transpire with the characters and we're a passive participant. But what do you think is so special about video games when it's the character, the player action to push them through and help them through despair to arrive at the hope compared to just watching it unfold?
I love that you mentioned that, because this is something only video games can really do. Obviously it puts you in that position, and you feel more immersed because you are controlling Cloud. Despair is as big a theme as hope in this game to me, and that's represented by Sephiroth in multiple ways. And he tries to impose that. He tries to, I think, in a sort of misery loves company way,
for sure,
just have everyone cede to that. He kind of coaxes and makes it very tempting and sort of welcomes Cloud into the arms of oblivion. The most effective way for a player to feel that and to connect with that despair is to put them in those shoes. So when you are Cloud and he's overtaken by this black materia insanity and he's chasing Aerith and you can't stop him. You can't stop him at all. What better way to illustrate what seems like futility and despair than to put yourself through that, to put the player through that? When he raises his sword while Aerith's playing, like they specifically put you in situations, and I think the main thing there is to have you feel as much as possible what Cloud is feeling to more intimately connect the player with what's going on in a way that only games can.